course, the wine capital of the world has got to be Paris. And one of the great landmarks of the city is the Cathedral of Notre Dame, one of the oldest buildings in town. It was first constructed from 1163 in the Gothic style. One of the first great Gothic cathedrals, and it became the model for hundreds of other churches in Northern Europe. It's still an active church with services nearly every day. And outside we heard more music. Continuing along on our walk through the heart of Paris, down the Ile Saint-Louis. We're heading to our favorite French ice cream shop, Bertillon. This is always a treat for us. They have a lot of exotic flavors, and what you want to do is try something different, something you haven't had before, and you really enjoy it. They have small scoops so you can have several. Try and mix several different flavors, and then you get a quick energy boost to continue along on our walk. Now we're on the left bank, the River Seine in the background, and then we continue the next day on a bus tour of the city. Like many places now, they have an open-top bus, which is fun to ride around in, especially on a lovely day like this. Looking across the river to the Louvre Museum on one side, passing some lovely gardens, and a quick glimpse of the Eiffel Tower. Well, this is a hop-on, hop-off kind of bus, and if you like, you can hop off along the way and get back on later. So let's hop off here and go on up the Eiffel Tower. Down below there was something quite remarkable going on. Look at this mob of people down there. Well, fortunately it was not a line waiting to get into the tower. The tower itself wasn't terribly crowded. As you see, you walk around on the top and you get the nice views from the very top. You're about 1,000 feet high, looking towards La Défense, and in all directions, 360 around, unobstructed. And again, down at this mob of people, what could be going on? Well, it must be some runners. Oh yeah, they're having a fun run. These guys are gonna run all the way out to Versailles. Some kind of a marathon event. It's not the Paris Marathon. That happens at a different time of the year. But this is a very big race. Lots of people involved here today. They're going to be running about 23 miles to get out there. We're going out to Versailles as well, but we're not going to run. We're going to take the train. But first we get back on our bus and continue our city tour, check out some more of the sights of Paris. And the greatest sight of all, of course, is that tower. Remarkable structure, over 100 years old. Along with the Louvre, the other great art museum of Paris is the Orsay, passing here on the bus tour. So let's hop off and go on inside and have a look. There's a self-portrait of Monet, famous for his water lilies, and a beautiful portrait of a cat by Renoir. Happy kitten. Some bronze sculptures by Degas, the little dancers. He loved to paint the dancers, and he also sculpted them in clay, and they were later cast in bronze after his death. So the Orsay Museum has a variety of paintings as well as sculptures, and there are some seats if you want to sit down and rest, take a break, absorb the whole place. And there's several different eateries. There's a restaurant, there's a cafeteria, and there's a snack bar. The snack bar is just upstairs from the cafeteria, usually less crowded. Passing through one of the very ornate rooms in the style of Napoleon III, and now we're jumping over to the Louvre for just a real quick look inside at the most famous painting. We've taken you inside the Louvre many times before in World Traveler, so today it's just a quick peek at the Mona Lisa, and then we're moving along. We usually stay inside the Louvre for about 3 hours in our visit. Taking a stroll in the neighborhood of Les Halles. This is a great spot. It's a pedestrian zone. There's lots of places to eat. You can get fast food, you can get a snack, a hot dog, a sandwich, ice cream, or maybe just get a crepe. Or you can sit down in one of the many restaurants here. It's a fun place for people watching and a real interesting spot for taking a stroll. Just beyond Les Halles, you get to the fountains that are out in front of Hôtel de Ville. This is the City Hall of Paris. You'll find it just between the Rue de Rivoli and the River Seine. And we're crossing over the Seine to have a look at the Latin Quarter in the evening. This is one of the liveliest parts of town at night. Another great spot to find a whole bunch of restaurants and a variety of styles. They have a lot of Greek food here. There's some French and Spanish and Italian steak houses, fish houses, all sorts of good treats. Next day, we took a trip out to Versailles. This is the beautiful palace of Louis XIV, and we're here on a Sunday, which is a marvelous time to visit because the fountains and the music are going. So let's take a quick stroll in the gardens. We actually spend a couple hours at Versailles, enjoy the gardens, promenade about, and then come on inside the palace and look at the various rooms, the suites. This is the War Room. It's a large hall that's got a lot of big paintings and sculptures that commemorate various generals and military campaigns over the past grand history of France. And of course, also the main part of the visit is going into the King's Chambers and then culminating with the most grand room perhaps in all of France, and that would be none other than the Hall of Mirrors, with its crystal chandeliers and elaborately painted and carved ceilings and gold fixtures and mirrors on one side and beautiful windows on the other. That wraps up our quick look at Paris, and now we're boarding the Eurostar train that will take us in just 3 hours from the center of Paris right into the heart of London.